What is the deal?
One night, I was over in my dormitory room in Baker House. I was trying to do a calculus problem, getting nowhere. I got a terrific headache. I went to sleep and had this very strange dream. And when I awakened, I could do 3 and 4 substitutions and integrals with relative ease. Now, this to me was an astounding experience because I had never before in my life understood that one's subconscious is actually capable of being harnessed to do mathematics. I experienced this, and I've experienced this more than once, so this was just the first time why I remember it. So that's why when it comes to like really wickedly tough problems, I think that the kind of creativity that you need to solve them is probably this second variety, which comes somehow from dreaming.
Peace to the family in Grand Risings. This is the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. So in the midst of my busy schedule, I'm taking the time to discuss this upcoming full moon that's taking place this Sunday around, depending on what time zone you are in, but for the Eastern time zone, it will be taking place at 2:33 a.m. This takes place in sidereal Cancer in the Ashleisha Nakshatra. So we're just going to take a look at this. But before we get into that, I just want to invite people. I know people have been purchasing my books, and I appreciate the purchases. But the most important part to me about this process is that you understand the information for yourself. And I want to create a dialogue around these books. So with that being said, if anybody has the Slack application, please join us. The link is actually on my website. So what you would do is go to www.hoodmystic.com, click join the Slack, and once you click join the Slack, you'll get prompted to either download the app, or if you're on a desktop computer, you can just simply join the team. And what we want to do here is just talk about things, especially the books, and any kind of questions that you have about your astrology charts or manipulating the matrix. I got Honcho and Shireen holding down the fort. Mama Mystic is on the Slack application as well. So any questions about the womb or meditations or herbs and things of that nature. But the idea is to have a platform where we can all talk and we can all build. And this is one of the easiest ways. So once again, all you have to simply do is go to www.hoodmystic.com, go to the support section, and then click join the Slack. And any questions that you have about astrology explained, how to read natal charts easily and effectively, or manipulating the matrix can take place on the Slack. We started this during the daily energy reading time, and since that time we kind of fell off. But we're also starting daily energy readings back again very soon, and part of that process is continuing the conversation. The easiest way to do that is on Slack, so be sure to join me over there, family. So back to this full moon, it taking place in sidereal Cancer in the Ashleisha Nakshatra, which is known as the Naga full moon. So let's just take a look at this real quick, family, and understand why the ancients called this the Naga full moon. So the reality is that it's neither in Cancer nor in Leo. It's actually aligned with the Hydra constellation, family. If we just look a little closer, we see this, we see the moon, and this is February 9th around 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon will be absent from Cancer, it will be absent from Leo, and it will be more in alignment with the Hydra constellation. And the Hydra just represents that Naga energy. So we always want to take reference to the passing of Kobe Bryant and the Mamba mentality and all of these particular correspondences as a particular energy. So what I'm going to do is deal with the more primordial energy of the Mamba mentality, as well as the deeper understanding of the Naga or Kundalini and how it's rising up, and how this could be a favorable, beneficial time for you, or it could be, a troubling, confusing time, because one has to understand that we come from a core understanding. We have primordial energy, we have primal energy, we have past lifetimes, we have ancestors that are all coming online. And so this is awesome. But if you're focused in on your darkness, if you're focused in on your thoughts even, that could become a dark place, because thoughts and the ego don't really understand this time. We weren't really prepared for this time. We weren't really taught up on genetic lineages and being the Nagas, okay? We call ourselves niggas. We don't call ourselves Nagas. We don't speak to the serpentine energy that's within us. We don't speak on our previous lifetimes and what we mean to civilization, what we mean to humanity as a whole. We only see ourselves in the present. And so because we only see ourselves in the present, we're not able to tap into this primordial energy that is rising to the surface. Not because I said it, just because of the cosmic alignment that's taking place. The moon, which will be opposite Capricorn, will be not in Cancer. It will not be in Leo. It will be more in alignment with the constellation of Hydra, the primordial serpentine Kundalini energy. And it would seem as though through my conversation and the previous build up to get to this point, it would seem as if I knew that already, but I didn't. I'm just following the astrological movements and doing my research. So I'm not manipulating this in no form or fashion. I'm just reporting and doing my form of cosmic journalism, okay? So with this energy, since we not raised up in genetic lineages and past lifetimes, we don't understand the levels of sexual energy. We don't understand the levels of primordial connections. So what tends to happen is people become secretive, people become deceptive, people become manipulative, because they don't understand that life ain't about society, bylaws, and trying to be the best person that you can be. It's about honoring your soul and your spirit. Another word to describe this is getting your mojo back. If you watch Austin Powers, when he got his mojo back, he wasn't, civilized. He was more on the prowl. He was hollering at the ladies. He was feeling himself, right? Feeling himself is another deeper aspect to understanding your spirit and your serpentine energy. So peace to the family. I hope everything is going well. People are commenting. I can't see the comments, so throw me some emojis on there, some thumbs up, some fire emojis. Let me know that everything is Gucci with you as we just discuss this information, because if you are a Naga, if you are a serpentine energy, that means you are half human, half deity, okay? And this is the play, right? This is the masquerade. This is the greatest conspiracy ever known to man. Us not knowing who we are, us not knowing our Dravidian lineage, our Egyptian lineage, our West African lineage, our American lineage, our South American lineage, our Indonesian lineage, our Australian Aborigines You know, all of these different places we have been throughout time and history, throughout all of the planets. You remember being in Ireland with me, right? You remember being in, in Vietnam as the Shampas. All of this is us. We are one snake that have traveled throughout time, throughout history, throughout the ages, and now we are here, okay? So if you're not on this train, right, if you are somewhat of an individual doing your own thing, right, living your own life, living your best life, I might add, have fun. But if you represent this Kundalini Naga energy that's rising to the surface, then you just got to know what it is. It's a time traveling, space, cosmic, primordial reality that's coming to the forefront of your mind, of your being, of your understanding. And so if you want to deny that, right, it's like waves escaping from the ocean. They cease to exist. They just crash up onto the shore, and then there are no more. But they could stay a part of the ocean and be synonymous with that. And in referencing the ocean, I'm just bringing up the moon being inside real Cancer or Vedic Cancer, if we want an astrological understanding. Okay? Because we're in the realm of Neptune, and Neptune is our spiritual practice. Neptune rules the Cancer energy. So this indicates a spiritual community. Because Neptune is spiritual, Cancer is community, okay? So a spiritual community is not your neighborhood, nor is it your friends and family. This represents the deeper ancestral guiding force that's leading you up out of the mundanity of the ignorance of this is a singular life. We don't have past lives. We haven't reincarnated. We're not the Naga semi-human divine deities that have come to benefit humanity. Okay. I know I'm not speaking to everybody, but who I'm speaking to, that's good enough for me. I'm going to take a side note, then I'm going to get back to the conversation. A lot of people will comment on my videos, and it's very disturbing. You need more views. You need more followers. But I'm like, you here. I'm not talking to, this conversation ain't for everybody, because if we get 10 people to be in alignment with the cosmic truth of the Naga energy and become one serpent and deal with this world in truth, not in fact or fiction or right or wrong, but in truth, we could change the world. 10 people. I don't need 10,000 people watching these videos. I don't need 10,000 people calling me, disrupting my peace. I need a small select of people that's ready to do the work, and then moving forward and creating physical, tangible things to help people. That's what spiritual energy technology is. So for the people who have just joined the live, be sure to visit www.hoodmystic.com. Go under the support tab, click join the Slack. It's free. It don't cost nothing. You understand? It's free. I just want to continue this conversation. I know you got questions about manipulating the matrix. I know you got questions about your natal chart. I know you got questions about astrology explained, using your imagination to conceive of a deeper reality of yourself, using your imagination to comprehend your subconscious mind, because when you study this, you understand that the subconscious mind is the motivator, it's the drive, it's the I don't want to do this, but I keep doing this. So I'm trying everything and anything to change my patterns. Well, you change your patterns by understanding your patterns and then manipulating them with your imagination from a subconscious level. And these is what these books is helping you to do. These books I was listening to Wayward. Was it Wayward? No. I was listening to Brother Rich and Professor Griff, and they was asking Professor Griff questions. And the last question, Brother Rich had asked Professor Griff, "What's the best book to read?" And Professor Griff was like, "The best book to read is yourself." Okay, so these is workbooks. And Astrology Explained ain't a workbook, but it also has the workbook attached to it. Okay. To get you into the mode of understanding yourself from a subconscious level and taking control of yourself is not particularly about the stars or the planets or I'm a Virgo or I'm a Taurus. I don't really understand my dreams. I don't understand my motivations. I don't understand my impulses, but I want to, and I want to change them and redirect my energy from a primordial sense. And so I'm just referencing that to the people who just joined the live and want to talk about these books if you have purchased them. Okay. So moving back to the conversation. Cancer represents our social interactions. And these social interactions are not, because we still dealing with the spiritual community. I had a weird ass story from my brother Nikos, man. And Nikos, y'all might know him as Muscle Murrows, or he got a lot of different hats, but he like a real life superhero. It's one of my brothers. And to me, it exemplified this principle of what I'm talking about, so that's why I'm referencing it. He had a connection for me because I was going through some legal trouble. And he had a connection for me that is going to assist me in my legal trouble. But that represents my spiritual brother coming through and representing that Cancer energy. And I'm trying to, shoot back the, I'm like, man, I got to shoot him, do an interview with bro. Like, I'm trying to figure out how I can pay him back. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep that energy balanced. Because once we deal with Cancer, we have to understand that you'll be receiving gifts. You'll be receiving positive things from unlikely places. But that don't necessarily mean that's the end of the story, because if we understand anything about our astrological situation is that it continues. And then it finally reaches Libra. And once it reaches Libra, it asks you, have you been keeping your blessings in balance? Okay. Pay attention to the planets that you got in Libra, because that's where your talent is, but are you managing it properly? But Cancer is that initial outpour of we all had big stacks of cash, right? And blew it. Okay. But this is another big stack of cash, but we still dealing with the metaphysical sense of understanding what to do with it. I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? I can give it to you, but what? That's some old school shit. If you was born in the 90s, you like, what the hell is this nigga talking about? Did this nigga just come up with a song on the spot? No, that's some old school. And the idea of being scared or having fear is a natural result of living in the ego. It's like doing something illegal. Being in your ego is illegal. It's like you breaking the law, right? The law of universal law, because the mind is all. The mind is the center computer. The mind is the black box. So once the plane falls, the black box is still containing all of the information and everything, all of the experiences gained. And the black box might be so powerful that it learns to recreate itself. So what we think is particular failure or death or negative situations might just be a glitch in the matrix or a virus in your system. So once you factor in fear and understand that it's false expectations appearing real, and you use that as awareness to focus in on your fear, focus in on your doubts. You just got to understand that that's kind of what's going to happen if you don't understand the reality that you are more than just your thoughts. You are more than just your fears. You are more than just your premonitions, even if they appear good or bad. You are an action. You are an expression. You are a value that you could increase in the world and focus your attention and awareness in that. You could awaken your third eye. You could understand your hormonal balance. There's a lot of things to take in consideration when you reference the sun in Capricorn, but for the most part, it's understanding that a lot of this comes very easy if you understand your internal controls, if you understand how to guide the ship. A lot of people are just on autopilot, but if autopilot tends to fail, there's a lot of panic, there's a lot of fear, there's no real confidence. But the idea with this Capricorn sun is to take it off of autopilot, learn how to control, learn how to program, learn how the system works, meaning your body, right? We know everything about everything. We know about Forex, we know about Bitcoin, we know about the lottery, we know about everything about everything. But when it comes to understanding your hormonal balance and understanding when to relax, when to go, what to do with your human body, people are not really interested into it. But then when you reference the mind is all, what if you crazy? What if you sad? What if you depressed? Then my depression is all. Then my fear is all. Then my confusion is all, right? So one has to understand how to work the mind and understand how to use the mind. So when we move into these daily energy readings, that's more or less what it's about. My wife reminded me, like, sometimes I go do the daily energy readings every day and then I'll just stop. I'll learn. Now I have something to say on the daily. I have a knowledge base. I have 3 books. I really created a platform and an understanding that we can now communicate on a different level, and then allowing myself to be open. At the end of the daily energy readings, we'll have a phone call session where people call in and we'll talk, for 30 minutes. I'll talk for 30 minutes and I'll talk to the people for 30 minutes, and then we'll hit up the Slack and we'll talk some more. You understand? Because as we're growing, we need to be sharing, we need to be teaching, we need to be learning. So the idea is that nobody is really teaching. Everybody is just really learning or absorbing knowledge, but it's throwing us out of balance, it's throwing us out of whack. Teachers need to, bringing up Nico's, I was talking to him like, man, people just need to hear how you order your life, how you live as a man, with your children and with your wife, and your business and your spirituality, and how you raising your children with spirituality. People need to hear. It's so many stories of people living remarkable lives, but we so caught up in the glitz and glamour and shit. I'm like, damn, this brother is on another level. You understand? So, I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Bree, about her new book. So the idea is to put people out there, we all have voices, we all have stories to tell, and we still working in the minority. If we all turn around and start YouTube channels, we still ain't doing you know what I'm saying? That's still that's a huge, it's small, but less is more, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So let's deal with some of these aspects as I'm, kind of in a lucid frame of mind and dealing with this Naga full moon. And so the moon is dealing more or less with that Naga serpentine Kundalini energy, and Kundalini represents your genetic lineage, your past lives, and your awareness of those things in the present moment. You understanding that you have huge resources, huge pools of resources that lie within you, sitting dormant. And once these energies rise up and once these energies get provoked, it's like sticking a stick at a snake, okay? Messing with the snake, and the snake jump up and bite you. But if you have the preparation and understanding that that's what's going to happen, that's what we study astrology for. And I present this information for the people that got kids that's busy, don't understand, and trying to figure out astrology, and then trying to look at this information like, okay, what the hell is going on? So that's why I do these videos every 2 weeks, okay? And I'll continue to do them. So let's just talk about the aspects. It's a very mild time far as cosmic energy. We don't got a lot of energy. This is just what the chart looks like. It's very calm, peaceful, moon-like energy. And to me, that's a time for preparation. That's a time for really figuring out how to program your subconscious mind, because when it's a lot of things going on, you don't have the time to really program. You don't have the time to be retrospective. And so one of the major transits is Jupiter working with Neptune. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion, Neptune, the planet of spiritual development, and it's on top of Cancer, where this full moon is indicating in the sidereal calendar. So we're just understanding that Neptune in our spiritual practice, our spiritual understanding, is how we manifest. Okay, and I know I be talking, and I know sometimes this shit go in one ear, not the other, but I said your spiritual practice leads to manifestations, meaning if you have a spiritual practice of what you want to manifest, dealing with the full moon, you will manifest it. So spiritual just means something outside of your conscious mind, and doing something, saying something, expressing something, feeling something, knowing who you are at a spiritual level, and putting that shit down, saying it, I saying it, okay? So moting it be. You understand? And I'm referencing Nikos again because I gotta have a real story to align with this astrological information. I told myself that I was gonna come out of this situation. I've been feeling a certain type of way about the shit that didn't have no real logical situation, and I'm gonna tie it in one more story. This is a little funny story, a little sigh of relief kind of laugh track. So I was driving to get some water. I'm on Carl Road in Columbus, Ohio. I'm at a red light, and I'm listening to my little sports program. I like listening to sports programs when I'm driving for some reason. Don't judge. So I'm listening to my sports program, meaning that it ain't no music playing. Doubling it down, it's a commercial. Something just made me just start dancing. I just started dancing in a whip like my favorite song was on, and it was mixed with my other favorite song. I was jamming, and I couldn't understand, but in my heart, the reason why I was dancing, because I didn't have a cell phone with me, but I knew if I did have my cell phone with me that some good news had came through. I knew it was great news. I was like, man, the best news I ever heard in my life is happening right now. So this is how I would dance, experiencing that feeling. And whether I had the good news or not, I knew in my heart that good news, I just knew it. And then lo and behold, I talked to Nico, and Nico like, man, I've been trying to reach out to you. What's been going on? I got a new phone number. So that's just how it works. I hope y'all catching my drift and can ride that wave. So Sun sextile Mars, it's an inflection. So when we reference in Mars in this astrological understanding, because the sun and the moon are both reflecting off of Mars, and Mars becomes the full center of this understanding, where the moon is trine Mars because it's a little further away, I think around 120 120 degrees from the moon is Mars, and the sun is closer to Mars at 60 degrees. But if you add 60 degrees and 120 degrees, you still get 180. So what this is that the sun and Mars is more supportive, but the moon and Mars is much more of a hidden, like a long distance relationship. That's Bay. We all got them long distance relationship bays. Like, that's you. You know that's you, but y'all just in two separate towns, you know. And the sugar daddy, the son, is just closer to the situation, so he doing all this stuff that you can't do right now. If you need to get it. So in reference to the sun sextile Mars, it's a closer relationship to what you feel about your anger, depression, fear, all of these types of things. If you want a point of reference to it, I did an article probably last year on the sun sextile Mars, and I'm gonna just shout the title out. Holding hot coals, okay? When we have anger, when we have jealousy, when we have, outsourced negative feelings on people, that's a hot coal. And when we reference it in our mind, in our being, in our understanding, it could be about Trump, it could be about your mama. It don't necessarily matter about, it could be about your job, it could be about your neighborhood. It don't really matter. Your negative understandings are just hot coals, and the longer you hold them, the more you burn your hand. The neighborhood still stay the same. Trump still be tweeting 5 times an hour. Your mama's still going to church and give not 10%, but 30% of her money to the church. She know you struggling. You could take 5, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. What else? All of these things gonna stay the same, and you can just sit and hold it and burn your damn hand, or you can let it go and deal with some real fire, right? Deal with the inner fire, deal with the serpentine fire, deal with the raising of Kundalini energy. So we are dealing with a solution that's very simple and very cosmic when we understand it. We have negative things and negative situations and negative things that we could focus on and bring our awareness to and bring that into our realization, because we're dealing with the full moon, a full moon of illumination. Or we can sit and focus on our most truthful divine reality, that is our blood, right? Because we purify our blood, right? We drink water, we get the impurities out of our system, correct, right? We don't eat, meat and all of these types of things every day, all day. We just really pure into our blood, into our cosmic lineage, right? Okay, cool. And we're breathing, we're just understanding, not just simply breathing to breathe, but we're breathing and we're bringing our awareness to our breath. We are bringing our awareness to our existence. And when we want to raise the temperature up, we do the dragon breath, because we are Nagas, right? And we raise this energy up. This is very simple, very esoteric, very powerful, because we're raising up our genetic lineages. We're raising up our past lives. We are raising up everything we need to raise up in this present moment, because we are the Nagas, semi-divine, semi-human. Do your research. Watch this video again if you need some type of reference to the Naga energy, because I talked about it in full detail at the beginning. Shout out to everybody joining the live. I appreciate you. Shout out to Mad Titan. You a real one. I see you supporting Love Live Life. You support me, bro. hoodmystic@gmail.com. If you need anything, bro, I appreciate the donations. Like, you don't got to do that. Anybody that give a donation, like, it's all for the love, man. But if you do decide to give a donation, man, this is my full-time job. So, it's not like y'all walk into McDonald's every day like, damn, these burgers is so fucking good, man. These burgers is the shit, man. You the best burger maker in the world. I love this place for these burgers. And just walk out with free burgers. I'm not sure it worked like that. So, whatever. It is what it is. I understand the paradigm. Like, people will pay for things to harm them, but when it comes to positive things, they think they should get that for free, and that's cool. And that's the line of work that I chose. So, Moon trying Mars is urging you to try something new. Based on this old shit ain't working, right? If you keep it a buck, if you keep it 1,000%, if you're not doing work that improves your body, it's not working. If your work is not improving your body, it's pointless. If you doing work, right? You doing spiritual work with deities, and you doing shit with your cards, and you doing this and that and this and that outside of your body, it's not working. What is working is understanding how smart your body is, and then balancing out your hormones and letting your body do the work for you. Are you taking the proper supplements? What about your neurotransmitters? Is your hormones releasing in a proper way? What about your pH balance? Are you drinking enough alkaline water? Is your cells hydrated? Powerful shit. Powerful shit. And I'm only speaking about what I'm into. And my wife can bear witness. I'm the most, existential, spiritual person probably that I know. I get into the icons and the figurines, and I deal with the channels from my son John. Sometimes I sleep, well, I say sometimes, but every time I manage to go to sleep, he's in his room, he's safe and sound, and just as cute as ever. And then I just wake up, he just right next to me, just right up on me in my ear every morning. So that's another situation we gonna work out, but he channels dreams to me, and one of these dreams he channeled to me was my wife would tell you, I woke up like, man, I just seen heads rolling, I seen heads getting chopped off. She was like, that's interesting, crazy nigga. Okay. And so lo and behold, John, he commits to every single statue that I had in my house that I so near and dear to. I spent my hard-earned hundreds of dollars on these statues. We travel across the country to get these statues, okay? Like different states to get a statue. Like that statues is my shit. My wife can bear witness. And my son commits to decapitate 90% of my statues. Okay? Ushering in the new age of fuck this shit, nigga. If you ain't working with your human body, bro, you might as well cancel Christmas. These statues ain't gonna do shit for you, dad. Crack. It would be like, I just seen heads rolling in real life. I'm like, okay, son. Okay. So your babies is your number one guide. If you got a baby, you in good shape, because ain't nobody gonna keep it real with you like your baby is. Everybody got an incentive to deal with you, to speak with you, especially if you're dad or mom. They either want something, they trying to angle, you know what I'm saying? It ain't never no pure thing, but your baby, the ESP and the third eye transference and all of that, whew. So I say all of that to say, I ain't about to be buying no more damn statues no more. If anything, I'm gonna be working on drinking more water, going out into more nature, and connecting with more people, getting out of my habits and breaking my patterns, and then just putting in that work. Okay. So yeah, that's Moon trying Mars. And so moving into Jupiter sextile Neptune, like I said, Jupiter comes into this with the expansion, and Neptune comes in this with the spiritual development. And this is more of a long-standing relationship. Sun sextile Mars, Moon trine Mars is kind of like one night stands. This is kind of like bae, and it might not be like it ain't wifey. You understand? It's just bae. You know, we just together. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to move on, it's time to move on. So basically, this Jupiter sextile Neptune is the awakening of the sixth sense. And the sixth sense don't really work on personal situations. The sixth sense is more or less in the form of connection. Neptune rules Cancer, which is about spiritual community. Jupiter is all about the awakening or new memories, because Jupiter rules the hippocampus. The hippocampus speaks to creating new memories or reliving our old memories. So we have the ability to create new memories by understanding our spiritual community, which is awakening the sixth sense. Okay, so that's just a real simple breakdown to that Jupiter sextile Neptune, which I'll be talking about that more during the daily energy reading. So in conclusion, this full moon card is the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups represents an astral journey or a meditation, and then a realization, and then a prompt to do something about it in the real world. If we look at the Rider-Waite card, you see a man sitting under a tree meditating, and he has 3 cups in front of him. These 3 cups in front of him, probably his ride or die cups. He loved these cups. You know, he'd do anything for these cups, but he's still not really happy with these 3 cups, and he's fantasizing about a deeper, greater cup. And this can hold many different forms. For some people, it could be a new car. For some people, it could be a bigger house. For some people, it could be a relationship. For me, it's spiritual truth and spiritual knowledge and spiritual connection. But for everybody, we have that astral. For my wife, is going on cruise ships. We have these things that we want to bring into manifestation, and we don't know why we have them, but they're there. And the things in front of us aren't really satisfying enough. So that can work into one or two ways. You cannot achieve what you want in the astral and be unappreciative and have a 0 for 2, or you could get what you want from the astral and bring your 3 things with you along the way, you know, and that could be a 1 for 1. But the overall goal is to hopefully appreciate what you have and then continue to manifest. And continue to understand that if you really want to manifest, if you really want to get to where you want to get to, then you have to reach out to your spiritual community. You have to understand that there are gifts on the other side of your isolation that you might not know. And this could be in any house, because this full moon falls in various houses. So for me, this falls in my 9th house. And it is really much on the spiritual journey that I'm really embarking on. I'm working on a lot of stuff with my YouTube channel. I'm working on a lot of stuff with my career and with my wife. And so for me, I'm understanding this energy. I'm grateful for my wife, my children, our home, my life, who I am. I'm grateful for that. But now I want to take it to the next level. And I don't want to, and it's not that I hate where I'm at. It's just that I'm just this is my natal space. This is where this full moon falls right onto my natal moon. And I've always had big dreams. I've always had higher aspirations. That's what's gotten me to this place. So it's normal for me to take what I got and move it to the next level, or get rid of what I don't need and create the space to allow new information to come in. So understanding all of this information, I know I talked a lot and I just kind of really wanted to share and go through this, but you can also go to hoodmystic.com to get a full breakdown of this. Do your research, click the links. It's all table of content out, real smooth, easy to read. Hopefully you just tap into this energy, raise your energy up, get out of the, well, my name is Tammy, I have this one life and all of this type of deal. You got many lifetimes, a lot of energy, a lot of support, but you need to concentrate on it and not concentrate on the foolishness. But yeah, peace to everybody who gave donations. Power of the P, Metal Bill, Mad Titan, I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Damn, 66 views. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for just joining me, man. I feel so happy, that you guys are here. One more thing, if you're here, if you want to continue this conversation, please, for Shireen and Honcho's sake and my sake, join the Slack. Let us know if you have any questions on manipulating the matrix. Go to www.hoodmystic.com, join the Slack, and just join the Slack, man. Leave a comment. I'll get updated. I'll say something, be like, hey, what's up? Anything, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of any questions on the how to read natal charts easily and effectively, astrology explained. Another thing that happens on the Slack, you can create relationships. A lot of relationships was formed in the Slack, a lot of relationships that I ain't have nothing to do with. So it becomes its own little social media platform within itself. So come join us on the Slack. What else? Subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. I appreciate you all. I will see you guys on the flip side. I'm thinking Monday, daily energy readings. That's what my heart say. And I'm going to just move towards that. And then what else? An interview with Bree Scott tomorrow. We're going to be talking about her book, My Destiny. And stay tuned for that tomorrow. Appreciate everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.